put this on. Mr. Jelski and I are here today to help out with you with FAFSA, with tip eligibility, with parchment, with applying for colleges, all that stuff. So it's kind of a day for you to be able to ask questions about anything, setting up a Common App account, sending transcript, all that kind of stuff. Our goal is that hopefully by the end of this period that you get a chance to ask questions, apply for colleges, all that kind of thing. There's a few things I'd like to be able to go over so we can make sure that we're all on the same page. Last week I did send a video through Mr. Barter's Google Classroom about the Shiawassee Community Foundation application. So like we said last time, the Shiawassee Community Foundation has provided a lot of scholarships for Owasso students, thousands and thousands of dollars for our seniors. So that is open as of last week, just like FAFSA. And the video that I sent gave out some very specific steps on how to apply. So this is the website. I'm not going to go over the steps, but if you do have any questions about it, just let us know. I did put the steps in your Zello account, your assignments. So if you want to be able to access those steps, go ahead and do so. Pretty easy. You do make an account. Just know that it's something that you can't necessarily do within maybe an hour. It's because it's very detailed. You do have to write an essay just like a scholarship, but it's very similar to Common App where there's multiple scholarships that you can apply for. So it might not just be one, but one essay for many, many, many scholarships.
And I believe you upload your transcripts, or Ms. Malone sends it. And I want to say, I had one student last year that waited till the very last day. It was 7 o'clock at night. I got 10 emails at once from this one student saying, hey, I need to send my transcripts. At that point, it was a little too late. We tried what we could. So please don't wait till I think it ends what, January 31st?
Yep.
Yeah, January 31st. Don't wait till January 31st to start applying. Get it done now.
Yep. So in the directions of the video, it does say about where and how to get your transcript sent. And it's not through parchment. It used to be through parchment, which was so much more convenient for everybody, but they have a place for you to be able to specifically request it, and that would be for Mrs. Pallone, so our secretary. So there's also debate and question about, well, what should I wait now? Should I do it now or should I do it after the semester ends? My suggestion is do it now, because January 31st, your transcripts may not be cleaned and ready to be processed by that time. Because after Christmas break, we have like a 2-3 week period where we have to get transcripts cleaned, because there are some students that do online classes that don't end until January 24th. Okay, so they know that semesters don't end until around that time, and transcripts are not ready. So they're just going to be looking at your 6 semesters from freshman to junior year. So it's worth it. Don't procrastinate. Take the time to do it, because you could be very qualified to get a lot of money from some of these scholarships. So if you do go onto the website, scholarship, and then it does show you about like some of the options, some of the scholarships down here. And they're usually like in kind of like memorial to some people that passed away, some organizations, that kind of thing. All right. Does anybody have any questions about the Shiawassee Community Foundation? Remember that you can apply now. You can do it again next year, your freshman year of college, your sophomore year of college. You can do it multiple times. So everybody's in the running for that. So if you had a GPA that wasn't so good this year, that if you have a college GPA, they can look at your college GPA, you can be in the running for that.
I will say, even if you don't think your GPA is good, I had a student who had under a 3.0 last year and still got a few scholarships from the Community Foundation.
Yep. It's all about where you're going and what you're doing. So if you're looking into being an engineer, they will have a scholarship just specific for engineers. So it's worth looking into. Anything more on that?
Nope.
We're going to be talking also about financial aid with FAFSA. So the first step to creating your FAFSA account is to go to this website, we all like everybody to attempt it. One thing that we need from you guys is to make sure that you have your social security number memorized. We don't need to see your social security, we don't have nothing to do with it, but to create an account and do some college applications, you do need to have your social security number memorized. Also, if we're gonna do this today, make sure that you have access to your personal email, because you will have to confirm your account by checking your personal email.
Please do not use, I'm just gonna stress this, please do not use your school email to create the FSA ID. Because if you remember at the end of the year, we're gonna be deactivating that and you will never be able to access it again.
So, yep, I've always had one senior from last year email me and say, hey, I have my information from my student email, can you reset that? I don't have access to it, can't do that. So please don't use your student email for setting up stuff. Alright.
And when you're doing this, it's gonna ask you some questions, which in the event you forget your password or whatnot, they're just some questions. Write those questions down onto whether it's a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word document, and include the answers just in case you forget. Trust me, I'm relatively young and I still forget my answers because I never wrote them down.
And you just recently did your FAFSA.
Yep, I actually did my FAFSA last Thursday and I sent it to Grand Valley State University. And honestly, it didn't take me long. It took me 5 minutes to do it.
Because he's going to grad school, so he's doing his FAFSA. So when you do your FAFSA, you can do it multiple times. Every year that you're in college, every year that you're getting your master's or your PhD or whatever. So it's worth knowing how to do this, because it will maybe eventually come back up again. So to create your FSA ID, we go to this website. It looks like fsed.ed.gov. It's really FSA ID.
And then yep, it'll take you to something like those. If this shows up, great. If it doesn't, please raise your hand.
Yep. And I want to stress out, just make sure that you save all your passwords, have it handy, because you will access this multiple times. Doing this step isn't the FAFSA, this is just creating an account. I've had students in the past say, well, I did my FAFSA, and all they did was just this step. That's not creating a FAFSA.
Nope. And also, if your parents have never filled out the FAFSA before, they will need to make one of these too. And if you have a split household, say you live with just mom or just live with dad, or if you have time between both, the parent that you'll use is the one that you live with the most and provides the most for you.
Yep. And this is going off of the taxes from 2019.
19, yep.
Yep, 2019 taxes.
It's so much easier than when Mr. Sarlino and I and Mr. Barter went to college. I had to guess. Me and my parents had to guess what our upcoming year's taxes were going to be, and it was just
Yeah, and it was usually in January, which was kind of like an odd time to do it because college application is usually a couple months before that. Alright, so when you put your username in, create a username, a password, they have a couple criteria that they want you to make sure to meet when you create your password. So you have to have a number, uppercase, lowercase, it's got to be between 8 to 30 characters long, and then confirm your password.
Also, when you're doing this, make sure your name is spelled right. I've had a few students last year, here and at other schools, put in the wrong name, and let me tell you, it's a hassle to get it changed.
Yeah.
We have to call the FAFSA, the Department of Education to get it done, and it saves us and you both time and energy.
Yeah, make sure that you use your birth name instead of an abbreviated name. So if you go by Alex, make sure you put Alexander down for a full name. Alright, so go ahead. We're going to come around to help out you guys. We're just going to kind of say some random things just to remember.
And also, if any of you ever need help, like you or your parent need help filling out the FAFSA, you can easily reach out to me. Again, my email, I'll actually write it here. Do you have a marker? Oh yeah, I I included my email here, so if you wanna reach out to me and you need help with it, I can easily walk you through the steps over Zoom or in person. And yeah, honestly, like once you get it started, if your parents have an account as well, honestly, it takes about 20 minutes to do. It's not definitely much easier than a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think they took 20 questions off the FAFSA too.
It'll also ask you for your mobile phone number. That way they can send your password, just in case you forget it, through text.
I'm still putting names and faces.
Yeah.
Also, before you leave today, if any of you have already applied for college, could you come and talk with me after the class is done or at some point if we are starting applying for college? As part of my service here at Owasso High School, I have to include where all the students are applying to or where they plan on going, in which I think we are going to fill one of those out. That way, yeah, it's I applied, we'll put it on your locker, but I will also use it to record my data.
Yep, you guys probably seen these stickers before from past classes, is that we try to celebrate your successes, applying to college. That's what we do this time of year. And then in April, we talk about what you decide to do, which is called Decision Day. But these blue things are stickers or labels that we put on your locker just to celebrate applying somewhere, anywhere.
Also, I brought in some pretty cool gifts that the organization I work for sent me. We got some hand sanitizer, and I think it's a phone thing. I don't really know what it is.
You put it on the back of your phone, it has
Yeah.
a little ring. It has a pocket too. Just to keep your important business cards, info, passwords, credit cards.
So please take it. I don't want it like cluttering my office. I have a bunch of stuff in there already.
Does anybody have any questions?
Did you ever have to do this back stuff? Like, how did they do it way back when you
Well, we did it paper. We had a paper.